Hey, what's up? It's a Figure Hunter here with an initial review, initial thoughts on the Mobvoi TicWatch GTH Pro, which is a small little device that, let's see if we can get it to turn on, that actually tracks a bunch of heart health issues, and we're going to sort of look at it as an inexpensive device to see what value it may bring to just daily life. I also have an initial review for the Nano X's coming up soon, so if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing for more. So, looking at the Mobvoi TicWatch GTH Pro, it is really designed as an less expensive, inexpensive health tracker. It's really not as much focused on workout tracking, but more health tracking, and has some new specialized health tracking aspects to it that we'll look at in a little bit of detail. It's got a 1-inch wide TFT screen, so it sort of looks like AMOLED. We'll look at it up close. It's got a heart rate sensor, actually dual heart rate sensors, because for the heart health checks, there's a heart rate sensor on the side here, which we'll see in a second. It's got a pulse ox SpO2 tracker. It's got a skin temperature tracker. It's 20 millimeter band is Bluetooth 5.0. 35 millimeters wide is actually at the broadest part of the thickness. It's 12 millimeters. But the overall, obviously it tracks your sleep, it tracks your stress, and like I mentioned, it tracks your SpO2 levels. It's estimated at 10 days of battery life, and we will talk about that for sure. But the biggest thing about the heart health, so look at it like if you've been aware of any of the Mobvoi watches, it has a lot of similar functions off of the baseline sensors. And we're going to see, maybe some issues that we might have to look at over the next few days of testing. It'll just track your stress throughout the day. It'll track your SpO2 levels throughout the day, your heart throughout the day. It'll track a workout, and we'll look at what the results are on the heart rate sensor. So those are all the typical Mobvoi sort of benefits and features. And then on the other side of the heart health features is a system they call Arty. And Arty is basically you run a test where you hold your finger on the side heart rate sensor for 10 seconds, and it measures your arterial waveforms, and from that tries to evaluate the strength of the user's pulse, the strength of your pulse, to take an estimate of your arterial strength as well as any stiffness within your arterial walls. And it'll give you an estimate across a number of different metrics that I haven't yet learned enough about what those metrics necessarily relate to, but the simple answer is it's supposed to check and track your arterial strength, your blood, your vessel strength, especially which, that's obviously a concern if you are looking at heart attacks or strokes. So we're going to dive into a hands-on. We're going to look at the app really briefly, and then we're going to talk about the initial thoughts, initial issues, initial things I like. All right, so let's take a look at this puppy. There is the screen. It is set to medium high on the brightness. I will say that it's a really good screen. It compares similarly to a AMOLED screen. You have just a basic plastic casing, and then you have all the sensors on the back. So this skin temperature, pulse ox, and heart rate in the middle, and then you have the sensor specifically for the Arty. You have a simple push button, which will take you back to home or bring you into the apps, and everything functions simply there. I can tell you out of the gate, one thing that I'm having a hard time with is this sensor for charging. When you put it on, it clasps, but it also flops around a little bit, and in charging, I've actually, it was just barely off, but I'm going to continue to test to see if it actually has a good connection and what that sort of experience feels like. So let's look at the watch overall. So you go into the main screen. Here's where you can change it with the watch faces, and we'll see a bunch of different watch faces, but overall the number of watch faces you can choose from has been great. It's a lot of fun watch faces to do so. But one thing you'll see is that this is the watch face from the app itself, and we'll look at all the options. You only get one editable, at least from what I've seen so far, editable watch face that you can actually save and store on the watch. So you don't get to have a collection of your 8 favorite ones. You just are stuck with this extra one here. So that is the screen. You swipe down and you're going to get all these different basic settings you would see on a number of watches today. The funny thing about the number of settings features is that that's it. So you swipe to the right to go back to the previous menu, and you swipe up to go here, and then you swipe up to get the notification. That's what a notification is going to look like. It actually is pretty solid, not too bad. And then you swipe left or right to go to your tiles. So there's the activity tile, sleep tile, which I'll activate tonight, your workouts, respiration, skin temperature, and take oxygen. But these were manual. If you go into one of them, it's just going to start looking for settings. So then you have the heart rate over time, your weather widget, which is simple, you know, but simple is good sometimes. And that's the functions of the watch. So overall, what you do to take a Arty reading, and let's look at some of the basics, you know, tick exercise, which is that simple screen that we just saw. There's 14 preloaded exercise things. Tick health is where you get all of the features if you want to see it. So tick zen is your stress level. Tick breathe is a breathing function. And here's Arty. So if you go into Arty, it says it's going to start reading. You better get ready. Gonna get ready, and you just sort of lightly hold the right side, and it gives you a score. This is your basic score. You can't get any more information than that. So your true heart rate score, your ECAP, your HSX, as well as your Arty age. And then you go next, and it gives you a simple summary of all this information. And it will eventually populate with some recommendations. So you can see that this is beat to beat heart rate. So your true heart rate gives you some stats there, as well as you have to go back to the top. I wish it just went back to where you were. This HSX is part of your arterial hardening, your arterial strength estimate, and it gives you a little chart. The reason I'm showing you the Arty stuff here in a little bit more detail on the watch is because the app is not functioning to show me Arty information in the app. I don't know if that's a US-based issue. So let's go into the ECAP. Again, I cannot remember. I think this is your athletic capacity, and you don't get any information there. Oops, sorry, let's go here and then see the ECAP. So measurement of exercise capacity. I did this like 15 minutes ago. It said 85%, and now it's saying 70%. I don't know if that's because I'm more active or more stressed in taking this video, but either way, that's what that is. And then you go back to the bottom to see any of your Arty age. So this was 20 to 30 15 minutes ago. So again, I'm going to see what the information really tells me. But this is supposed to be a measurement you take every morning at the same time, and it's supposed to remind you, you know, when you take it. Yeah, so view all readings. So you can see I got 20 to 30 most of the other times, or the other 2 times I took it. So take it same time every day. It's supposed to tell you information in the app, which I can't see. So that is why we're looking at it here. So that's the Arty score. And then you have sleep, timer, stopwatch, weather, music controls. Music controls works great, just like it would on, you know, any of the devices that have come out that way, but it's just a nice little feature to have. Let's look at the app, and then we'll talk about it in whole. All right, so this is the Mobvoi app, which is used for connecting any Mobvoi device. You can change the layout of which information appears at the top. Some of this information down below is with a watch that doesn't track it. So one problem I'm having is when you go to this Arty thing, it basically is saying, you know, you can agree. I've tried this a million different ways. I've restarted everything. I've shut the thing down and started back up, and it continues to fail to authorize. So you can see your activity though. So like if you're just using this as a simple activity tracker, steps, your exercise minutes. So it's not level of exertion, it's just your minutes, your active hours, distance, and calories at the very bottom, and you can track it over long-term trends. One thing we will see when it comes to a workout. So this is just simple information. But this was the CrossFit workout today, which included a little bit more heavy lifting in the beginning and a shorter, faster Metcon at the end. And there you have it. So my heart rate capped out at 136, and then look at the back half, you know, so where you see those little waves. Well, this is what the actual workout included. So it picked up some of the lifting sessions and really got maybe similar to the same heart rate, but in the workout itself, it did not record. I was using hand straps, so I did move the watch further up my arm and put on the hand straps, so maybe that did it. But you can see in this back half of the workout where the heart rate is saying it's 117, I was really at 160. So heart rate not good for tracking a workout. So again, you maybe will just use this for all sorts of simple things. When it comes to stress, it says no data, although I did a spot check on the watch itself, and I don't know why that's not picking up. And the SpO2, it looks like it's got 2 measurements within the last couple of hours, so we'll have to see if it actually keeps up on the heart rate. You can see it's just got little spot checks. So again, I'm not even sure how many times or how often it's tracking those things, but we will soon find out. And then the other really concerning thing is this TicWatch GTH Pro was at 100% 5 hours ago. So that's 18% burn rate, and when I did the math on it, it calculates about 28-hour battery life. Now I have it turned up to medium high, not the max, but still turned up to medium high, and nope, not lasting 10 days. So the Watch Face Center, you have a bunch of cool watches. Whenever you tap on one, it'll start downloading it to the watch. The limitation being, obviously, you can't save it other than that one option. Smart mode is where you turn on all the different automatic things. I have obviously all the things turned on. And the settings, again, very simple, just regular settings, and more settings, very simple. So really not a lot of options when it comes to the setting aspect. Even with Arty, here's where could try it again, but it's just not going to work. And that's it. The beta, you can track a workout, so basically this is where you would use GPS if you wanted to use GPS, because it has to use GPS off the phone. So that's the summary of the app and the features and the experience so far. Let's talk about it. Okay, so out of the gate, what are the issues I'm finding? As I mentioned in the little sort of hands-on, the battery life is super questionable. We have yet to see if it's going to last a very long time. It's obviously slated for 28 hours. So obviously we saw the heart rate in tracking a workout was not worthwhile. So you really can't get the health benefits of exercise tracking out of the device. The charger was obviously problematic. It just doesn't have like a solid connection when it goes to charge. It had to be very sensitive. And then obviously the other main thing is the big system, Arty, is not functional yet on my US-based app, my Mobvoi app, we're using an iPhone. So that's a good size laundry list out of the gate when doing some initial testing. What did I do like about it? I do like the overall size. I like the price at $99. That's obviously very affordable. Everything functioned from the simple, smartphone capabilities. Notifications came in smooth and effortlessly so far in my use today. The weather widget was actually functionally neat. Obviously it still has the alarm. It has like a smart alarm feature that I'll test out. It has a stopwatch. It has a countdown timer. It has a lot of sort of the basic things that you might want in a simple sort of overall health tracker if you're looking for something that may dive deeper into the health side of the tracking benefits. So I'm going to continue. We're going to do some more extensive testing looking at the sleep quality analytics, as well as is it tracking the SpO2 throughout the day, or is it only if I sit still and do a manual check? Is it tracking the stress throughout the day, or is that only if you sit still and do a manual check? What does the skin temperature details sort of provide and value? And obviously, is there a value in seeing your Arty score over time? Hopefully there will be an update that will make it capable to see a chart on the app itself and not just have to take spot checks and just see the information on the watch itself. So with that, that's the Fit Gear Hunter. Thanks so much for watching.